Hello, everyone, and welcome to the 5th European Rumble in the Realm. My name is Bruns, and joining me here today will be none other than Hangetsu. How you doing, man?
I'm doing excellent, man. I can't wait to see how some of these so-called rookies and professional players actually do compete in each other. We have some, somewhat of pretty new talents as well showing up today. And some people, I would say, that didn't actually get, to the point where they're live stage material, but they will actually be
Almost.
very surprising, some of these players. I can tell you on my behalf, there are players almost as good as what you would call professionals. But in this situation, I'm sure there will be a little bit of a surprise here.
Especially if any of you guys tuning in missed out on the North American Rumble in the Realm, make sure to check out the Blade and Soul YouTube page where the matches will be uploaded. And without spoiling anything, it would be little to say that it was exciting and that a newcomer, a new face in the tournament scene, just absolutely dominated, maybe. Who knows? You gotta tune in on that one and see what really happened. But for this tournament, as you said, Hangetsu, we have a lot of returning legends, veterans, if you will, and not only players like Empathy on the Blade Dancers, but also in the Blade Master role, of course, none other than Luki, which is going to be in the first match. But before we go into the first match, tell us a little bit about how the prizing and what these guys are fighting for, Hangetsu.
Yeah, so on the line this evening is actually a big variety of prizes. For first place, you would be taking home $400, including a choice between a few outfits: School Days, Teacher's Pet, and Nebulous. I'm not sure what that is. Corsair keyboard. K17 Lux RGB mechanical gaming keyboard. Even if you don't understand what this is, I personally don't know what this is, but it sounds freaking amazing.
Fancy, really good keyboard. There you go.
Yeah, that is actually a pretty good way of putting it. Second place is, of course, $300. This is, of course, in USC. Choice of one of the following costumes, same as before. Corsair Scimitar Pro RGB optical mobile MMO gaming mouse, which sounds as well. You could put it in the same category. Of course.
Most definitely, you guys can also check out the Blade and Soul Esports page. There is a esports section on the official Blade and Soul channel if you wish to see everything in great detail. But for every viewer watching right now, make sure to stay tuned because there will be costumes given away through the stream, and the costume itself will be the Scarlet Bird. So make sure to keep your eyes peeled for that one, of course.
Yeah, of course. And third place, $200, same outfit choice, including a Corsair Void Pro RGB USB premium gaming headset. This one, actually, I am familiar with. I personally don't own this, but I have a friend that has something of the source of the same series, I suppose. And I can tell you, this is a pretty good headset, personally. So even if you get to third place, this isn't exactly a compensation reward. I would honestly be extremely happy with something of this.
If I were that good to take any of the prizes, I'd hands down be more than happy to. But of course, if you guys are not familiar with the format of Rumble in the Realm, it is a 1v1 tournament with a double elimination format. It's going to be best of 3 sparse sets and up to the finals, losers bracket finals and winners bracket finals. We will be moving on to best of 5 sets. So that is going to be the format for today. But as I previously briefly mentioned, the first match of the day here for the EU side of things will be between Luki, the legendary BM, and somewhat of an up-and-comer, somebody you really see often in ladder, which is Antrex on that Force Master, Hangetsu.
Yeah, so I can tell you personally, I spoke with Antrex a lot. He's a good friend of mine. We had a bit of... he pretty much carried me throughout tag match 2 seasons ago. A very good player, did very well in the battle brawl, had some pretty creative moves, I would say. I remember something he did where he comboed the Phantom grabbed Firewall with Meteor Shower while wallbanging someone, basically double cooking him and roasting him very well before finishing him off. And I personally, yeah, that was amazing. You should have seen me and Barney. We would basically jumped off of our chairs and just went crazy just looking at that. But today I can actually tell you some of the predictions might, as I said, be a little bit maybe a little bit different. You can't really know what's going to happen this tournament. What is your prediction for this? Who do you think is going to be taking here something?
It's gonna be a tough one looking at the whole thing overall, of course, because there's so many good names. As said, we've talked a little bit about some of them. And if you're watching out for Kung Fu Masters, players like Jiro would be awesome. But it seems like we are indeed ready to go with Luki, and Antrax already underway with Luki having a great time in the opener, forcing out the tab escape already out of Antrax. And with that Frost Armor also expended, Antrax all of a sudden Hangetsu in big trouble potentially here.
Oh yeah, indeed he is. The Flock of Blade is coming through, and we'll actually be keeping him safe.
Goodbye.
Actually, yeah, that was it. That was his Fire Tongue still in tons of damage. The crits were also pretty generous in Luki's side, so that's always an option. Actually, we might actually be able to get to see an opener for a change here, as we did join the game slightly out of queue. So we'll see. I can tell you personally that one of the more favorable strategies when it comes to the Force Master is obviously keeping that one stack of, Frost, basically denying the option to have gap closers. But BMs have a very easy way of clearing that off. So we'll see. Both players are looking for an opener. Quick Phantom Grab coming in from the side of Antrax. Flock of Blades will be the defensive skill of choice, and Escape coming in from the side of Luki here, trying to find that fight. Find the air combo. A lot of damage actually. Antrax dropping pretty low here. Does just shoulder charge with the Dragon Tie. The Flash Step just to deal a little bit more of damage. Wing Protector coming in from the side of Luki here. Will keep him out of harm's way. Antrax choosing to use that Force Armor might keep him a little bit out of reach for a little bit of time. Phantom Grab not connecting, and there is the Force Bus we talked about being such an incredible tool on the side of the Force Masters here. And we'll see how he follows it up, trying to find the Dragon Ball, but not quite connecting.
He gets the stun!
And there is the Soaring Falcon, forcing Antrax to use his escape here. Luki still has his second win available and just needs to find one more proper opener. There is a shoulder charge backstep will be used on the side of Antrax here, pushing him to the wall. Luki, second win is a must.
Oh no.
There is the famous cooker, the Flock of Blades coming, will free him up.
There it is.
Will be going down here. And Luki securing himself the first win of the streamed part of the tournament, you could say. So that was a very good match on his behalf. What is your take on this, Flinch?
I mean, I saw it briefly in chat. Somebody's already concerned that Luki's gonna get Blade Masters nerfed. I think it's just Luki being on another level because he was relentless, he was aggressive, and before we actually got into the first few matches, we talked a little bit before the stream, me and Yuhan get to that. One thing about Antrax that your opinion is about is the fact that he can get a little bit nervous, and under a lot of pressure, especially when up against somebody like Luki who was relentless and just so aggressive, seems like he didn't have any room to really respond and was forced to use all of his different defensive tools, and just when cornered was down and out, it seemed like.
Yes, indeed. I feel like when you're playing against an experienced BM, it's really easy. It's really easy to get, feeling that pressure, biting down your neck, and you could just start doing these mistakes that are just silly. And you see, BM versus FM changed a lot between the patches. Back then, FMs would just cry to each other saying that, whoa, man, I'm playing versus this BM. I have no answer to this match. He's just basically owning me and I can't do anything. He keeps blocking. And back then, Phantom Grab used to have been a little bit weaker.
A long time ago.
Yeah. But now, on the other hand, the match is actually, I would honestly say, favorable for the Force Masters. Since obviously BM got the short end of the six in terms of the patches lately. But Luki, on the other hand, being an extraordinary BM, he proved to be very fast and agile, strafing so fast you can't even tell where he is right now.
Oh, yeah.
Even if you're running 8,600 DPI on your mouse, you won't be able to tell enough to see where he's going.
But with that being said, Antrax, unfortunately, he will be knocked into losers bracket. But next up will be another Force Master that we're going to watch, Glacier, on that Force Master versus BD Ryoku, so Blade Dancer. And while we will not be bamboozled, it is not Ryoku the KFM. It is indeed actually Bowl Cut. So some of you out there should be familiar with that particular name. It is indeed Bowl Cut under the name of BD Ryoku, but it is going to be Blade Dancers versus Force Master, and that we will be moving on shortly to this one because it seems like they are ready to go.
Yeah, the Phantom Grab already connected. Glacier Beam won't be actually landing, coming out empty-handed here. Glacier needs to find an opening. The Phantom Grab coming in from the side of Ballcat here. As I said, with this is Ballcat, don't get confused. Phantom Grab just dropping him. The stun with the raid, forcing the backstab from Glacier here. Trying to find an opening, but actually using a lot of cooldowns here. Glacier forced use that forced armor. And there's a Phantom Grab. Flock Blade's not available on the side of Ballcat here. Confusing me as well with that name. Guardian Tempest will be used. Phantom Grab. This is a battle of Phantom, guys. I can just tell you this. Try to get some of his focus away from him. Like put him in.
Oh, the draw.
Yes,
But he gets the Tapscape out of Glacier. Even launches him up into the air. After that rate stun did connect, but the Veil is still down. So for now, Volcat or BD Ryoku in quite a bit control, as he should still have the iframe off of the V there. Has the Maelstrom now up. The Frostburst does not connect. And as a result, he should be in a commanding position still. He's going to look for another opening, gets the grapple, and Glacier now down about 48% HP is going to be in big trouble. Gets dropped down, stunned again, launched up into the air. That's where you belong, says BD Ryoku, as he will continue to rain down a lot of pain. And now as he's going to be oh so low. Ryoku needs to close this one out, gets the lightning actually into the 5-point strike.
No more escapes, actually. Second win is down and backstab as well. Just need to time that ankle biter, but not quite late, and as Force Shift will be used. And iframe in that Phantom Grab was extremely crucial as the Phantom Grab does connect on the side of BD Ryoku here. Just needs to daze him up, and it's just gonna be over right here. The reflex all doesn't do much as the raid connects. That's gonna be 1 point for Ryoku here. I feel like Glacier is again under a lot of pressure. Can't really find an answer to the speed this Blade Dancer is playing at. So already.
And honestly, Bolkat or BD Ryoku last year during the European regionals, he was one of the standout players for his respective teams. So we'll see whether or not he's going to be able to keep up that high performance. And so far, we might actually see Ryoku capitalize off of that perfect Frost Burst. But now he's going to get grappled up, and all of a sudden, Blade Dancer might be able to turn things in his favor as he's going to look to drop him down or gets the stun into the air launch. So once again, pretty similar playstyle here coming out of the side of the Blade Dancer. Gets the draw, drops about 50% already.
Indeed, the Phantom Grab does actually land, and he uses that backstab to die from the Flock of Blades coming in from the side of Ryoku here. There is the impact. I think he has his second win available in his disposal here, but chooses to hold on to that. The Phantom Grab does land, and of course, as well, even if Glacier has his second win here, I wouldn't suggest for him to actually be using that to rolls fast, and as the 5-point strike does connect, Glacier here does manages to iframe the second win. No escapes available, I believe, for Glacier here. The shift will be protecting him, trying to find Lost Blast, but backfires as the Ascend connecting on the side of Glacier here as Force Storm will be used.
And he will be able to get the grapple himself. So right now, once more, the Force Master and the lot of trouble is going to get dropped down. Actually goes for the draw into the right-click stun here. Very well done. And into the aerial. Beautiful execution coming out of the Blade Dancer for the secure and the 2-0 win in a very clean fashion so far. Force Masters in the EUC not having a good time today, Hangetsu.
I can tell you something. I'm in quite a dilemma here because one of my friends in the game, one of my best friends in the game is Antrax, and he is a Force Master, but I have this really built up hatred as a destroyer. This Force Master. I mean, the class is obviously very good in Arena right now. It has so many versatile things they can do and so much ways to protect themselves. But when you're on the receiving end of all those, versatile
punishments,
yeah, you kind of build a resentment. I always had this thing where I'm like riding close to Platinum. I said, I'm close to Platinum, and then I see a Force Master. I know this is it. I'm not gonna be able to win this one, no matter what I do, and it's always such a disappointment, you know.
All right, and as you saw, there's a lot of updates to the bracket so far. Next up, though, it will be not Empathy, so we'll see the return of the one and only Empathy on that Blade Dancer versus Crimsia on that gunslinger, actually. So the first gunslinger of the day. A lot of people were talking about gunslingers in general because as of late, with a few changes they received, such as the alpha call change, of course, just elevated gunslingers overall to make them stronger in the 1v1. But it seems like they're actually already going at it as Empathy winning out in the opener. Of course, we all know we've all fell to the wrath of the opener coming out of gunslingers in that 1v1 bracket usually. But now, using those wires to get out of the way, Crimzia says, nope, I'm out of there, sets up the Skystone, and now trying to find an opening. Actually pops the Tombstone. He's going to go aggressive, but Empathy trying to get a good answer will be actually now under potentially a lot of damage, but now if he can somehow survive, it will be potentially looking good for him.
Yeah, indeed. He plays another Skystone is actually a very, very problematic thing. You can play around with the distance very easily as a gunslinger, and this is exactly what Kremos is utilizing in this match. We'll be using that deadlock as an iframe, opening some distance. Another Skystone is coming forward, but I think he's out of hooks. Going down
there!
There it is. Empathy with the surprise sliding door. You can't know when this is going to happen, and you'll just, well, especially considering that the base defense of a gunslinger is one of the weakest in the game. So, you know, you're basically the standard classic glass cannon where you know you have a lot of damage, but
oh yeah,
you get caught. Yeah, it's painful. And they're ready for the second match here. Already Skystone will be placed on the side of Kremisa here. We'll be using that backstep. 5.7 not connected on the side of Empathy. Looking for another opening here. The Soul 5 won't connect. This Guardian Tempest will be popped. Looking for an opening. The raid not quite landing again. Coming out empty-handed with these trades. Empathy here. Just needs to find one good CC. Could be already a lot of damage on top of Kremisa. Second win. Timing it perfectly.
Oh.
Didn't use Vigilance. And you know what that means.
A lot of damage coming in off of the draw is what it means, I'll get to, as Empathy obliterates Crimzia in the competition. And today we might have a lightning show on our hands with so many BDs just on point right now. And the big problem with Empathy coming into this tournament, in my eyes, was the fact that, okay, maybe he's rusty, maybe he's not going to be able to play to the same level, but nope, already still on point. And as a result, they'll be moving out through the bracket.
You know, sometimes taking somewhat of a break from your professional field of gaming could actually be quite a boost at times. Since, you know, when you get to experience other games, for example, okay, even if it's not something so serious, you might just you know, have these insights on your own game. And for Empathy, I think this might be what happened. I don't know where he went, but it obviously, well, judging from this game, the way it reflects, it might mean that Empathy is as good as he used to have been, if not better. And I personally am feeling a little bit of, you know, missing out a little bit because we didn't see him in the last tournament. And I think Empathy had quite a strong place in that tournament, seeing as how Ballcat and Vanderbilt did so well in North America and in the qualifiers. And Barney kept telling me how he likes these Blade Dancer, you know, fight off each other, and those are one of my favorite mirror matchups myself.
And of course, even in the EU versus NA brawl, we've seen the likes of Pieb, how absolutely amazing some of these players can be in that Blade Dancer role. But once again, guys, if you are not following the channel, make sure to follow Blade and Soul over on Twitch and all of the social media for all the good news related to Blade and Soul, future content, and all that good stuff. And of course, if you missed out on any of the action, as well as the North American side of things for the Rumble in the Realm, you can definitely check it out over on the YouTube page. But so far, Hangetsu, nothing really too surprising necessarily in terms of results. As said, with these Force Masters, while we know their potential, we know how good they can really be, there were some question marks surrounding them, especially when they have to face off against players like Luki. And just as we did see the bracket previously, and right now, of course, also make sure to once again quickly mention the fact that you can win a costume. So keep your eyes peeled for that one in particular, as the costume giveaway should be going on. But next up,
Right now, over here, no, that's the other side. So, yeah, you can actually get that custom. Just hit that link down there. Or type it in, I suppose. It's, of course, chance to win. It's not the same as it used to have been before. If you saw in the Battle Brawl, North America, we had codes given away. And I believe we changed it up a little bit. So make sure to hit that link and get your chance to actually win one of these fine outfits.
And actually, I've been notified that next up, it's going to be a mirror matchup coming up in the winner bracket between Myeongchun and Electra. So it's going to be a summoner versus summoner matchup, Hangetsu. And we've seen some of the other summoners, like Cymex, already getting knocked down to the losers bracket, who I was surprised to hear that he wasn't playing his gunslinger. He's actually playing his summoner. But now, between these two in particular, Hangetsu, what's your take? What's your expectations for this one?
Yeah, I can actually tell you, I believe we're just going to the match in just a moment, but while we still have time, I want to point out that both of these summoners, I did get to play versus both of them, and I can tell you that Mio-chan had a harder time versus me, so somewhat of the skill level, I would say that Electa might be slightly above, but only because Mio-chan is obviously playing in a warlock and not a summoner per se. I'm gonna mentally prepare now because we are probably be joining this match a little late, so we're gonna be seeing Barrier Patch and Petal Storm and everything flying around. So that's
all the things.
Yeah. I had one of my ideas for a game mode, if ever. You just take two summoners and let the cats fight each other. That could be an interesting situation.
just have them go at it.
Yeah.
Whoever has the best familiar costume also has an edge, of course, stats-wise, as we know.
Yeah, honestly, these are... I kind of feel like there's an agreement between summoners. They just give each other whatever outfits they find. They sell it extremely cheap. But on the other hand, whenever it comes to main characters, it's just a whole nother story. I can tell you that I know some people that would go crazy for cosmetics, especially that one outfit that we had in the giveaway. And cat outfits are just not the same, as much as they're so customized and so pretty sometimes, but they're not the same as normal characters' outfits. Yes, I can tell you that in terms of Electra, against Mio-chan, both of these summoners are very good. As I said, Mio-chan actually mains Warlock, so I'm kind of expecting to see somewhat of a different skill level. Both of them are incredibly good. As I said, I played versus both of them close to 1.8k elo in 1v1 in Arena, so back then in the last end of the season, that used to have been a lot. Right now, it's a lot more than it's been before, because you just have, at that point, a lot of professional players playing at the same elo close to Platinum. Well, I can tell you what I do. I'm considering what it could be these summoners are going to be running. If they're going to be taking the Rumblebee build, or they're going to be taking that Earth build with the sunflowers, as most, I think, summoners do go for that Earth build.
And it seems like, just quickly to interject here, they are having a few issues. They need to restart. They went into the match itself by accident, so they will be shortly getting ready to go once more, and eventually we'll get our match underway. I know everyone is super excited to watch a Summoner Mirror matchup and listen to the beautiful sound of Ali over and over. But as you can see throughout the bracket, I'm really excited to also check out whether or not Jiro can make it all the way through, because he's been one of the standout KFMs, of course, outside of the likes of Zappish, as we all know. And if he can make it all the way through, I'm definitely looking forward to seeing some of those matches for sure.
Yeah, one of the things I like to point out in the brackets, actually, if anyone noticed it, some of the pro players are actually in the same build house of the brackets. That means that they will be facing off against each other, and actually having this way of building, well, not building, it's obviously shuffled in a way, but it gives a little bit more of a breathing space for more newcomers and rookie to actually be able to advance here. Because honestly, some of these players is so good that that's basically like walking in a minefield. If you end up hitting into one of these, professional players, it could spell the end of your tournament. Yeah.
And it seems like, actually looking at the bracket once again, refreshing it for an update, Empathy in his next matchup actually in the meantime lost, so he is knocked into the losers bracket, it seems, by, as you just quickly mentioned, what seems to be a rookie, a newcomer. So I'm excited to see him soon enough, because once we get into the semifinals, we're going to be watching all the different matches. So Empathy, surprisingly enough, especially after such a dominating performance, already being knocked down. Not so sure if you know anything about WLAJ, but not quite familiar with that particular person myself, Hangetsu.
Well, if it's a wallet that came this far and actually had to go through, empathy and won, even if you're a very good wall, like you don't just stomp all over empathy, and we didn't see that match on stream, so I don't know what went down, but I do assume this Wallach is good. This could basically be any one of a more familiar Wallach, such as I don't know if it might be Tena. He is still considered one at the best in Europe. It could be Arias, it could be anyone, but if you want versus Empathy, as I said, he has to be decent.
All right, and I've been notified that WLJ is a friend of Brother Bill. Some of you should be familiar with him, and it does ring a bell now. It is still somewhat of a newcomer when it comes to the actual tournament scene, and as a result, I'm excited to see what he's going to be able to bring to the table, because one of the dominating factors of free versus free and teams in general in Blade and Soul, there's a common thing, I'd say, Hangetsu, we see in all the top teams, and that is that all of them have a Warlock somehow. Thinking. Yeah. I don't know if it's just coincidence, but I think if there's going to be overall more good Warlock players, there's potential for more top teams for sure. But I do believe they are finally ready, so it is going to be the switcheroo.
This is actually the losers bracket, I believe. And I'm actually not so sure what we're seeing right now, but the Ari Shadow has a really low amount of HP here. And Kremisa, if he has his second wave available, he will be able to turn it around, I believe. Well, mistimed that reflex roll, but has that vigilance available, will be opening the distance a little bit, waiting out those items on the side of Ari Shadow, who drops to 1% HP. Barely alive, limping out as Guardian Tempest will come off of cooldown and will be used here. Looking for an opener here, it's just a matter of unloading on him one more time, and Kremisa, I suppose, will advance to another round in the losers bracket here. That was an interesting match, kind of random. I didn't expect that.
Unfortunately, didn't quite catch the notification that we will be moving on to that match, particularly in terms of spectating, but unfortunately for Ari Shadow, that does mean, I believe, that he is down and out of the tournament, as that was in the losers bracket side of things. And again, also sad that we did not get to watch the match in its entirety, but still, nevertheless, congratulations to Kremisa to making that particular win happen, as Gunslingers can definitely be exciting to watch in terms of being an explosive show, and as to how fast some of these matches can end, and wasn't quite on the same level in terms of Blade Dancer play when compared to Bolcut or BD Raikou or Empathy.
Yeah, well, what could you expect? Now I'm just seeing a lot of players that are actually really good that dropped to the losers bracket. This was kind of my prediction. Well, yeah, that's what I was kind of predicting in the start, because as I said, pro players playing versus pro players are used to playing versus pro players. Yeah, I know it sounds a little complex, but it's a lot simpler than it sounds, okay? Pro players are not used to playing versus new players because they don't know what these new players are having, the way they're playing. So in this situation, this might have just been like that, you could have a player like Cymex getting eliminated, okay, in the losers bracket. Well, I think he's still not eliminated, but being pushed to the losers bracket, okay, means that he played versus someone who has at least the close enough skill level to him to be able to push him to the losers bracket and win versus him.
All right. And again, apologies for the interjection, but it seems like we do actually have another match ready on our hands between Luki Fangirl and Hawkit, both of them Blade Masters. So we will see a mirror matchup today in the European Rumble in the Realm. And if I am correct, Luki Fangirl is actually Zay, which some of you might be familiar with, an excellent Blade Master, of course. And Blade Master mirror matchups can always be very exciting to watch as well, just because it's such an interesting back and forth, pretty much similar to an anime fight, you know, to lack of better description. And we'll be curious to see whether or not they can be on the same level with Luki, because so far he has still been defeated and he's still in the winner's bracket, still going strong.
Well, they are still getting ready here. So in terms of that, I can tell you personally, I felt his Blade Master firsthand, and he is fast. He is very fast. I don't know if I could say he's as fast as Luki or even faster, but I can tell you he played incredibly. Last Rumble in the Realm watch, do you remember? We actually had the 3 versus 3. I think he was on the same team with who was that Soul fighter? I don't know if it was Biome. I think it was Sage. I'm not 100% sure. And he played amazing. He performed incredibly well, and you know, pulling things that are completely unexpected from a Blade Master. And this is exactly what I've been talking with a friend of mine yesterday. In terms of a Blade Master needs to have a lot of games under his belt to be able to withstand the impact of the patches. I would say some of us that play. You know, let's say, for example, you're facing a Warlock. A Warlock does not have to be as good in his class as a BM to be able to still win. And that is somewhat of a shame, I feel, in the Blade Master terms.
All right, they're actually good to go here, as already Hawkit in a lot of trouble. Zay with a commanding start here, forcing out the tab escape, but do you believe he still has his available? Not quite sure. Maybe not, as the return damage is exceptional coming out of Hawkit, and with the air launch, he's actually going to turn it around. Okay, so you blink, you lose, I guess, as these Blade Master matchups living up to my comparison. Anime top 10 anime fights right here, it seems, as already one win on the board for Hawkit. Somewhat surprising for me, as it is a good start for him. Actually, already goes for the Soaring Falcon, forcing out the tab escape into the Hongmoon block out of Luki Fangirl, as he's going to return with a lot of damage himself. Can he actually close it out? He launches him in the air, and yes, he does! What is going on, Hangetsu?
I feel like both of these players are just, if you get caught, you know you're basically dead on the spot. They're timing their tech chases after the second win so good, so well, that the match ends so fast. It's just a matter of one skill even connecting shoulder charge coming in from the side of Hawkit here. Already Flock of Blades actually been using Raiden, spamming that Lunar Slash with those Dragon Tongues. You know, a lot of damage, and the same answer coming in from the side of Fangirl here. Luki.
Oh no!
You know, a lot of damage in second win eventually coming forward.
It's not over.
And connecting, same with the ankle biter coming in from the side of Hawkit. Will be securing himself this match here. Is whoa, that was quite a shock for me how fast the matches are being finished. I'll tell you something. When you're playing a Blade Master on lower, you know, and you're not as experienced, you'll think, I might want to conserve some of my cooldowns, but not these players. These players are just, I don't mind using a 1 minute cooldown skill just to be able to start some. And I don't mind using any of my long cooldowns just to be able to start the fight correctly. So, well, that's just it. You don't have much to analyze on this match.
Pretty much.
In total, maybe 40 seconds of a match.
Well, it was absolutely a treat to watch. As said, living up to expectations. But we will be moving on to a short break. Of course, once again, my name is Brent by Hangeta. Make sure to follow Blade and Soul on all the social platforms to stay up to date. But we'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. And welcome back to the 5th Rumble in the Realm. Hello, darkness, my old friend.
Yeah, we have somewhat of an issue here. I don't think you guys can see our pictures here. Well, I guess it's not that important as long as we get some in-game footage. You guys already saw our face, so it's not such a big deal. Well, I'm also making a gesture in the dark, and you guys can't see it. No, I'm kidding. What are we expecting to see here? Seeing the brackets, we have Giro and Ballcut in one of these rounds here, and that is a BD versus KFM. What is your take on this, French?
Well, whenever I used to play my Blue Dancer, I know that one of my banes was the dreaded KFM, and as said, I do think Jiro has what it takes to potentially come out on top in terms of the overall tournament itself. So, fighting up against the likes of BD Ryoku or Ballcut, it is still going to be a tough matchup just because of how on point Ballcut has been today from what we've seen so far. And it's going to be tough potentially, but Jiro should have, in my eyes, the upper hand.
Well, you see, both of these players actually have a lot of experience playing against each other in arena, of course. I can tell you that usually this match can go either way. It could go in the favor of Ryuku and of Ballcut in this situation. It could go in the favor of Jiro, but really right now, seeing how Jiro is on point with his KFM, it's gonna be hard for me to imagine this. Well, our next match, it seems it's gonna be Nordiel and the Assassin versus Maju-chan and FM.
So somewhat of a newcomer, indeed. It's gonna be interesting. Nerdeal, if you were looking out for Sins throughout this particular Rumble, of course he has been one of the more standouts in terms of known quantities and names. And Maju-chan I'm not familiar with, but he did make it all the way to the round 3 to face off against Nerdeal. And I know a certain top EU Sin that whenever he streams and he fights against range classes, especially FMs like Amtrax on ladder, Ryuki, he's very vocal about how annoying that can be for Sins in general. And we'll be curious to see whether or not Nerdeal can still pull out a win here.
Well, Nordiel, as you said before, I actually got some. I can tell you that watching him from the side is actually very entertaining. His playstyle is very unique in terms of the assassin. Well, not too unique because obviously one thing is, well. Oh, and it seems we are ready, but both of these players are just standing close to each other.
They're going to restart. They're going to restart, so they're going to just end it as soon as possible. Give us maybe a sneak peek at Nerdeal's Bombard build execution. See if it's going to be on point. But of course, Sin versus Force Master Hangetsu. Talk to me a little bit more about it. Talk to me about what we can expect in terms of the tipping point for one getting an advantage over the other.
Well, I can tell you that there used to have been one of the weekly tournaments. I think it was one of my first ones where you had a player named Xukenya, the assassin, and he was playing versus Coliform. And when you say Coliform, it just brings chills to almost all the players. and
literally chills.
Yeah, you saw what I did there.
Hey.
And what I mean is, when Xukenya came in, somewhat of a new player. I don't know if a new player, but coming into this tournament is somewhat of a new player. He basically just won versus Coliform in flying colors, and it's really a matter of how you time things as an assassin. If you play well with opening the distance between you and the Force Master, it's really hard for the Force Master to actually play around with this. And this is actually a mistake that I saw a lot of assassins do in arena. Still trying to be aggressive when you don't have your escapes. And unless you're playing versus a Force Master is just somewhat mediocre, you'll get punished, always. There's no question asked. But in this situation, seeing as how Nordiel is obviously more well-known in the top ladder, I feel it's going to be more he's favorable, obviously being, experienced.
All right.
To open the distance.
So we are ready. No more false alarms. No more playing around. This is the real deal. We do have now Nerdial under quite a lot of trouble. He does have the flower down, but the air launch is good, and the relaunch could be going in. But no, it's going to be the stun into the frost burst. So interesting choice here for Majo, but he did bring down his opponent quite low already.
I believe that he was trying to wait out his flower of escape here, and with the wall bank, Nerdial, I believe, will be going down here. Mojo-chan, maybe this might be Coliform by any chance? This playstyle seems very, very familiar to me, to be honest. It could be Tio as well. I did see Tio run a little bit in the arena as well. I got to actually one versus him with one of my destroyers. So it's obviously, if it is him, then shouts out to him. It's good to have you back, man. But in this situation, honestly, if a Force Master plays well, I really want to see if Nerdial is actually performing as well as he should.
Well, considering the play style, let's say, of Majo, it's not going to be an easy task for sure, but not quite totally familiar with what is going on right now. As it seems like, Nerdial disconnected. That was the issue. It did seem like he literally didn't do anything. So again, apologies for the delays and shenanigans. We will be moving on as soon as possible, hopefully. But again, Majo, on the other hand, looking promising, Hangetsu, I would say.
Well, yeah. I'm saying this might actually be someone familiar. He plays FM too well to be a rookie, I would say. You can never know for sure. I can tell you that Force Master is one of the classes. Is same with Assassin actually. If you don't play often on that class, you get very rusty real fast. It's one of those classes that is somewhat easy to learn, very, very, very hard to master and keep, being in a high ranking. Very, very hard. Assassin is the same way, a little bit more ping depending, I would say, as well, but overall, yeah, you still need to play often on Assassin to be able to be, well. That's why you usually don't see too many Assassin players reroll to other classes, You had times where I can tell you that Brother Bill, for example, has a big variety of characters that he, ladders up in terms of KFM, destroyers, light dancers, a lot of melee classes in this situation. But I can tell you most assassins just stay under assassin. They don't, start playing anything else because they know that the second they start playing other classes, it's just gonna be a little weird. And we had a little bit of a zoom in the brackets. That was interesting.
Just to make sure everyone saw that, but nevertheless, it seems like we will give them some time, so we will be skipping over that match for now. Of course, once again, make sure to follow Bladed Soul on all the social platforms to make sure you don't miss out on all the good stuff in terms of Bladed Soul content, future content, of course, also the VODs for the tournaments as well over on YouTube/Bladed Soul. So again, on top of that, if you want to get your hands on the costume, in particular the, I always mess up these names, Scarlet Bird costume, that is Hangetsu. Of course, there will be a link posted off on your screen every now and then, so make sure you stay tuned and keep your eyes peeled. But it seems like we will be going to Hawkid versus Warlock AJ instead next. So Warlock versus Blade Master. What's your take on this one, Hangetsu?
Well, first, my take is whether this character, the 20th roster here, Warlock AJ, well, maybe he tried to write some like Wallage or something. I'm not even sure.
Actually, just breaking news, Hangetsu. Apparently, Hawkid is actually going to be playing his gunner or gunslinger.
Well, that's what I expected actually. Hawkid or Hufk. Okay, I believe we saw him when we had our test for the qualifiers of the Battle Brawl. I'm not 100% sure who the player is, but he was incredible. He was crazy. A gunslinger that knows how to play, and after the patches could be devastating for basically anyone. Yeah, and it is still considered somewhat of a new class, in my opinion. You don't get to experience a lot of the gunslinger in higher elo, nearly at all. I will tell you something else as well. There was somewhat of a weird transition between one of the patches, okay? We had most of the gunslingers couldn't climb all the way to gold in the last season, or some of them at least couldn't climb into gold, and suddenly all of them could have climbed into gold just because of one of the patches. One of the patches actually introduced one of a change to Alpha Call. Alpha Call used to have been somewhat of kind of a useless skill back then for 1v1. It would reset,
for 1v1, yes.
Yeah, Soul Burn, and it reset Time Distortion, I believe, and it reset all kinds of buffs that you don't really get to do much with them in 1v1. I mean, exactly. I'm saying, and now Alpha Call has something called Vigilance, I believe. Vigilance actually allows you to have your escape up again, in a way, in a very weird time frame, and basically, give the gunner a second escape in a way, but it's kind of the same style as having your I think we're already our match is underway as Warlock AJ is going to be facing off against Hafk and the Gunslinger. Both of these players are charging up to each other. The Skystone will be used, and Fall will be summoned on the side of AJ here. Tombstone will be popped, and AJ opening the distance.
The Thrall though.
Yeah, dropping very low.
Might actually drop already, but no. The time distortion will be used. Skystone is going to give him a little bit of iframe now. Hoff in a good position potentially. Goes for the Alpha Call. This is going to give him a little time of a window of opportunity potentially to play somewhat aggressive. Will be darting around with those wires, but now gets dazed up. Warlock AJ, now is his time to shine as he launches him up into the air. Brings him low to about 32% HP and half. Now under a lot of pressure here, Hangetsu.
Yes, indeed. He just needs to find one guard break with the cannonade, and that will already help him a lot. We'll be using that iframe from the Gunslinger here, trying to find another Skystone. Will be untargetable, sort of, dealing some damage, and AJ actually just swimming in that AoE, taking a lot of damage, dropping him pretty low. Already Suctum will be popped and trying to find a Soul Shackle, and the Leech actually does manage to connect with the Unrush coming in from the Thrall, dropping half 14% here. And there is a Bull Rush with the Twin Bells there. Combo is good, and dropping him down. Half with the surprise attack, just kind of a blitzkrieg in a way you could say. Just jumps on him and completely dominating him and closing it out and secure himself first win here.
Another big thing with the recent changes to Gunslinger, is just the fact that the air launch being on that sea is definitely gonna make us see a lot of instant air launches that are really hard to react to or really play around. So Hoff now able to still recover, and we all know how painful, how much damage Gunslingers can really do. So they're not really ever down and out, especially when against the likes of Hoff right now, as he once again does have that Skystone up and available. Thrall does come out to play. Let's see whether or not the Warlock AJ can turn things around and equalize this, as Tombstone once more used aggressively here.
Yeah, but Thrall is actually put behind this time, so nothing Huff could actually target. The Vigilance will be popped in. Huff actually has another escape available. We'll be utilizing that Skystone rather to open the distance a little bit more. The Thrall Unrush trying to land, but those items are just on point on the side of Huff. No real answer coming in from Warlock AJ, and the air combo is
air combo.
Under 50% HP. One more air combo like that could be enough. There is a Twin Bells, and just you could say panicked a little bit and had to use his second win, but you can't really say for sure. Cannonade, I believe, is all he needs to press with those unload. So much damage, and yeah, you can't actually block that. Unblockable damage that pierces parry and defense, I believe.
Yeah, that is another new thing that is quite devastating, to say the least. But as a result, he's going to be facing off against the winner of Luki versus his upcoming opponent. So far, very exceptional play coming out of him, and looking really scary to face up against. as on the other side of the bracket, of course, we will soon enough go into Jiro on that KFM versus BD Ryoku on that Blade Dancer, or once again, Bolka through Bolcute as he's known. And
Yeah, well, this
we
is a matchup.
talked about it briefly, Hangetsu.
We did talk about it a little bit, and I did say that this match could go either way. I can tell you that Jiro is one of the few KFMs that I think it was Mr. B that said if he went to NA, he wouldn't have a problem 1 versus 3 in the tag matches. Giving a lot of credit to Jiro. Jiro is well known around Europe, I can tell you that.
Oh, yeah.
In terms of, you have Zapish, okay, which is a legend. And Jiro sometimes, I believe, is not far from Zapish. Zapish is obviously one of a kind when it comes to all the regions. Without a doubt, even Korean region, Korean has somewhat of, when they hear Zapish is coming to Korea, they're a little bit intimidated, even the Koreans. So in that point, but Jiro is not far from that. I believe it's just a matter of time until Jiro will get to the same experience as Zapish as well and be just as good. And in terms of ball cut, for example, we did see him perform incredibly well in North America. So what to expect? Just Clash of Titans, and I don't know which one.
Most likely, but I think they're also loading in, so we might finally have the matchup underway, and it's going to be a hype one. Definitely everyone should be excited for this one. Not even the finals, and already we have another excellent show on our hands as we'll see Jiro try to initiate. So far, though, it's going to be dazed up, but nicely done with the tech chase. We will have BD Ryoku now launching him up into the air, looking to see what his follow-up will be. So far, waiting it out very patiently, but it's pulled in and stunned. And now forced to use that Guardian Tempest, procs that Ice Guard with a lightning drop, but gets to launch him once again into the air. But could be under a lot of danger here if BD Ryoku gets a good CC off, especially since he dodges the Phantom Grip now. And this might be it.
Iron Shoulder tech chase coming in with the Sirin palm and a lot of damage.
There it is.
Not dropping the combo.
In the air.
2 RFs coming in from Jiro. Dropping ball cut to 0 and actually secured himself the first round. Wow.
That's the big danger if you're a Blade Dancer versus KFM in this matchup. You expend that tab escape, you don't get anything off of it, you get CC'd once, and that is it, my friend. So far, Jiro commanding position here, Hangetsu. We'll see if he can close it out.
Well, he needs to win one more. The Soul Falcon does connect, and there is the mid-force actually coming in as an answer to the Phantom Grab. Jiro dropping now, holding in. Actually, not using the ground counter is incredibly useful sometimes. Does get air launch here, the lightning go coming forward, and ground counter actually helping him to get up here. But can't really find an answer so far to BD Ryoku's unrush here. The second winner is coming through, and Jiro gets dazed up. Using that escape, that is really dangerous, as second win is still available for Jiro. He just needs to time it correctly with the daze, and Comet Strike will probably soon follow, but no, actually it doesn't land. That does manage to find the knockdown. There is the ground counter coming in from
Oh
Jiro.
no.
Actually, the Sorin
Deja vu.
connection connect. There is a Tremor and the Sorin Tremor, I
Lean.
in palm, that is. Wow. Just, this is exactly what you said. It's one mistake and it could be over for you. And I believe that second win coming in from ball cut was a little premature and ended up costing him that match. I believe he could have done it a little bit more creatively. This is something that I really like to point out a lot. This is something called ground counter for people who don't know, is when you do it on purpose. You basically hit into ground counter as a KFM and you immediately counter, meaning that you counter the ground counter. And then it gives you room to do a lot of things. One, for example, using Iron Shoulder to keep the combo going. And for players that use ground counter versus KFM, you want to be very patient when using this. It could be very dangerous. And that was what basically killed Ballcut in the end, I believe. The Iron Shoulder just starting the combo off. And Jiro is no KFM that drops an easy tech chase like that. So, yeah.
Oh yeah, it's just such clean execution too. Of course, making sure he does not drop the combo. That's That's the extra thing in terms of just thinking about facing off against you, because you know if I mess up, that's it. I can't mess up, and that must also definitely play a part in terms of the decision making of the likes of BD Ryoku in this particular case, knowing that okay, I cannot expend tab escape without getting success. I cannot afford to really make any major mistakes. So far, really well done. But we will have more Kung Fu Master action coming up soon enough, as it does seem like we will be moving on shortly to Jiro versus Yoon Hyung on that Sin soon enough.
Well, in this situation, I actually, yesterday at night, I was watching Zapish play versus, I believe it was one of Nordial's, assassins, and he was somewhat losing once in a while. You wanna obviously be running the Gale Fist, which is it unstealths an assassin and also stuns them, but it's incredibly hard to land. One of my friends honestly has like, you could say, a third eye when it comes to this. He always manages to snipe that assassin in stealth, and everyone gets excited when that happens, but it's so hard to do. And obviously Jiro, being experienced KFM, I believe he could actually find that. I'll tell you something, I'll be completely honest, I do believe this particular matchup is in the favor of the assassin by far. A good assassin knows how to absolutely take full advantage of his kit to dominate a KFM. And well, it's always a little bit saddening to see how any KFM, regardless of his level, could lose to almost any assassin just because the kits have such a difference in utilities in a way.
Most definitely, but as you said, there have been additional tools added to the Kung Fu Master's kit to make sure they have more of a chance to deal with the assassin, as you said, with the snipe that they can land if they time it well in terms of getting them out of stealth. But it seems like they're actually ready. It soon enough will be loading into the arena. And in terms of course, the opener, Hangetsu, any expectations in terms of seeing something different, or are we going to see mostly standard play, safe as possible?
Well, there's nothing standard about both of these players. Well, at least I know Jiro, to be honest. Nothing standard about him. I'm expecting a sweeping kick into Comet Strike after the reflex roll in the air, and followed by Ice Guard as an opener coming in from Jiro. Just watch. Backstab. Oh, actually, he hits into the flying slam. The target is actually problematic here, and there is a stealth coming in from Hyung actually have placing that flower of escape here, trying to find that flurry. No escape available for Jiro. This could be it right here. The webbing coming through, and using that
oh no,
overlapping CCs with bomb bolts, actually dropping the combo. That is a very bad idea. No cap closes actually available on the side of Hyung here, as he does manage to find another quick spiral tap. Will be using that spiral tap, but hits into the ground counter. A flower of escape will be saving him from that initial CC here. Doesn't quite land that Fury kick. Is coming in.
Oh, but the Rising Dragon is going to get a stun off, but the tab escapes on both ends should be coming back up soon enough, and as a result, we will see Yun pop his respective one. The one over on Jiro's side should still be available, so he's going to look to land it with a potential daze. But now Ice Guard gets proc, but still damage being dealt here by the assassin. Is going to go back in. Jiro dropping pretty low. He wants to be super patient with it as he's looking for that window opportunity. As said, but he gets the stun. This could be it as he launches him up into the air. Beautiful execution off of the roll, the relaunch, and Jiro with the smooth moves once again will look to close this one off as the Rising Dragon will hit, will connect, and will secure him the first win.
Oh, if you do manage to time a flying slam correctly, it obviously pierces ground counter, and get up animation won't really save you from the way it works. Just quick launch into the air, do a whole lot of damage, and a very useful tool for the KFMs here. And actually counters the turn leap here. That was actually pretty good. Rising Dragon forcing the stealth from Hyung here. trying to find the Girl Fist, but not quite landing that. There is a fully, but that's sweeping kick. He doesn't quite land here. The bombard is good as second win will be forced out from the side of Jiro here, trying to find very important CC. It's one spine tap away from Hayun to maybe be able to finish him off, but as we saw, he did drop the combo a few times. There is a triple kick with the trebles, and palm coming full with the 2 RFs, and it will be Jiro playing it perfectly. This is what you want to have against an assassin, a playstyle like this.
And what was that, Hangetsu? Incredibly favored to Assassin. I guess not as much when Jiro is your opponent, as so far. Very well done. Makes it somewhat easy for him to get that second win in an even more dominating fashion there. And with that particular win, he will be moving on through the winner's bracket into the winner's bracket finals. So very well done here by Jiro to secure himself a good spot. And once again, just to remind everyone here, Hangetsu, what are they fighting for? Not only cash prizes, right?
Well, cosmetics and PC-related accessories, which are always good, such as the RGB keyboard and what was it? Also, there was
a bunch of Corsair goodies.
Yes. Power RGB USB and Corsair Scimitar. All of these items, I wouldn't take them lightly. I mean, these are basically professional gamer gear. Okay, nothing less than that. I mean, anyone could get these, but they're super expensive and super high quality. And I'll tell you something else. If you're using, doesn't matter, a generic, very cheap mouse, okay, you wouldn't be able to spin your camera fast enough to, for example, be able. You to follow Luki. Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Since the slaves are so fast, and you need DPI on your mouse that is incredibly high. It's obviously not every mouse that can handle this kind of demand in a way.
And Hangetsu, surprise, surprise! I'm super excited again, of course, because next up it's Luki versus Hawkid, but Luki is actually going to be playing his Destroyer. So Destroyer versus Blade Master with Luki on his Destroyer. And then we know he practiced that particular class in the past. I believe even during last year's run to the World Championship, he was debating whether or not he should practice it even more to potentially pick up that particular role for his team. Wasn't quite the case, but I'm really curious about this one.
Well, I can tell you that Destroyer have a clear advantage in this matchup. As I said before, I'm taking it, the whole silver line on this thing, when I say it's a counter, in BNS you can't expect what could happen. Any class could beat any class, but Destroyer in particular, I can tell you that players that are a whole lot better than me lost to me because I'm playing Destroyer versus BM. This is one of those matches, okay, well, it doesn't matter how good the BM is. He could easily lose because of the way the kit is for Destroyers. I usually like to run a guard break knee, which is just, you're basically stuck in a way where either you're going to get dazed trying to block, or you're going to take your block down and then you're going to get CC'd. And you're stuck in a situation where you have to, be always ready for when the gap closes is going to come. And it's really hard to handle against. In hockey, I don't think we saw his BM, or did we? I think we saw.
We did see his mirror matchup, actually, I do believe, versus the likes of Luki Fangirl or Zaya, as I do believe he's the same person playing under Luki Fangirl. But I also do believe that they should be ready to go in the match soon enough. So once again, Luki, this time on his Destroyer versus Hawkid. We'll see whether or not he can keep up that stellar performance.
Well, I also got informed that... Well, okay.
Oh, the switcheroo. Never mind. We did see Hawkid also on the Gunslinger, so...
Well, this is much more favorable. This is much more favorable than a BM. I think this was a good choice by Halfkill to change, actually, from his BM. And we'll see how Luki actually handles against Gunslinger here, who already popped his Tombstone as an iframe, but there is the... Lokin coming in as an iPhone here, the shift protecting Luki just a little bit longer. Vigilance will be popped, and there is the Skystone actually foresees that second wind. That wind bells falls in the gust coming in from the side of Luki here, and I believe actually Hafk is out of hooks here, and the reload comes in just in time. I wonder if he's running the Fury build here. I guess we'll know. Does manages to find the grab, and Half might be in trouble here. There is the Axe Sweep 2-second CC, followed by Z coming in over here. Well, Emberstone will be keeping him from CC, Luki trying to find some more damage on top of this Gunslinger, but it's really hard to follow up sometimes with all this mobility here.
Yeah, the Gunslinger is just darting around the whole arena for now. We'll have that Alpha Call available, so a small window of opportunity here potentially for Hoff to stay safe or play aggressive. I guess he will opt in to stay safe instead, build up some more resources or cooldowns, but we'll see him actually get the dodge. And as a result, can he continue to do so? Just kiting around, being so annoying for Luki. And yes, he does have that persistence.
He can't find an answer to all this gap closer, and it's so hard to deal with. There's the standoff coming in again. Opening that iframe bubble is so scary sometimes as you start to engage. There's another second wing coming in from Hafk. Luki just taking so much bulk, but he survives.
Tombstone, that's it. Explosion.
Even with the ram. Just what can you do sometimes? It feels like you chase around after him and then you just end up like, being sad because he can't really do anything. It's so hard to deal with. Well, as I said, you engage and suddenly deadlock is being popped and you're like, what am I gonna do?
And so far, we'll see whether or not Luki can turn things around still. And we'll equalize it this one to 1-1 as so far Hoff is in commanding position now. Actually, he's going to pop the Tombstone, but the answer will be good. Coming out of Luki now being able to stay safe and making sure Hoff uses a lot of his cooldowns, but for his troubles, he will pop that Alpha Call. Will have potentially another defensive option, but Persistence was used by Luki, so he still needs to find something here as he does get the gap closer. That's something he was missing.
He has enough damage to finish him off. The Ram with the knee coming in, overlapping CC. Will he be able to finish him off? Okay. The animation cancel of Absolute TV. That was excellent by him. Yeah. It's really hard. When you do manage to find the Gunslinger, it's actually not that hard to kill. But it's so hard to find him with all this kiting and mobility. And, Skystone being so useful sometimes. The Blitz doesn't connect on the side of Luki here. Trying to open the distance as Skystone keeping a half out of reach here. The Axial doesn't quite land here. Trying to find with another opening. Tombstone was used kind of prematurely. It won't be useful for him now. Deadlock will be popped here as Half will be opening some distance here, trying to find an open. I believe Luki has no more focus. Look at him, just trying. He wants to spin. Let me spin. Does manages to find some focus back with a Searing Strike here. Does manages to find the Gust. There's another second wing coming in from the side of Half Kill. But there it is. There is the drag.
You do it.
Seconds. CC with the Power Slam here, but finally get from that is Tombstone will be popped here. Stone Shield with the shift, just a little bit longer. Iron Plate in here will be keeping Luki out of harm's way. Another deadlock here. You want to run away. That Bull Rush does connect there. Combo coming in forward. It will be
Could be it. It is.
2-1. Luki give it a fight, but it's, as I said, really, really hard to deal with these guns, especially with that added last patch, second escape. Just so hard to deal with. You can't, even if you try. Yeah.
Unfortunate, just aerial damage, of course, also dangerous there, and so much mind games coming in here too, because of course all the different players are allowed to change classes before the match starts, but they need to make sure they let the tournament organizers know ahead of time. And as a result, with the switcheroo, Luki expecting that Blade Master potentially, and for the Destroyer to counter it, and on the other side, Hofk going for the Gunslinger.
Yeah, well, you can actually steal a lot of big names on losers bracket as well. I think Wait. I almost saw it. I think it was Cymex that actually won versus Nordiel. Well, I don't know. It's kind of weird because I used to remember Nordiel actually being on the winning side in this match.
He did get knocked down.
Yeah, it did. Nordiel actually is out of the tournament, and Ace Fire versus Cymex will be the ones facing. One of them will be obviously to be decided. Will be facing against Jung Hayun, the BM, I believe it was. That was playing versus Luki. We didn't really quite.
Assassin.
I think it was. I'm not quite sure as well. This is kind of a thing that happens obviously when you're not familiar with the names and the players. You kind of assume what it was. You can't always remember correctly, and well, it doesn't matter. Luki is also sitting there in the losers bracket here, and none of these players though. Well, these players still have a chance to actually get
of course.
to first place. Obviously, the way this tournament works in this format. It's somewhat forgiving. When you're in a normal tournament, when it's brackets and everything, when you lose, you basically get kicked out. Not in this one, of course, because you do get the second chance in the losers bracket. And well, as I said, I don't know, Ace 5, I believe it is. But well, some of these pro players still have a shot here. And coming in here, it's Huff versus Giro. Giro came in a long way as a KFM, as I said before, maybe on the weaker side on the patches lately, but Giro is such an extraordinary player, obviously. Well-deserved spot so far.
Oh, for sure. And just looking at the bracket overall, some surprising results, of course, and Hoff not really able to get in the past really such good results. Now looking good. We'll see whether or not he will have a good time versus Giro here coming up soon enough, and it seems like he's going to be rolling with the Blade Master in this matchup, as Giro will be playing once again, unsurprisingly, the Kung Fu Master, as he had an absolutely dominating performance so far tonight. We'll be looking to note which one is going to come out on top and secure their spot in the grand finals, of course. As once again, I want to quickly remind everyone that you should make sure to follow Blade and Soul's official Twitch by clicking up to the top right corner, I believe it's nowadays, over on Twitch and on the social platforms to make sure you keep up to date with all the future content. But it seems like they are good to go soon enough. Kung Fu Master versus BM Hangetsu.
Well, I think this was a good choice by Hawkin to actually go with the BM instead of the Blade Dancer. BM versus KFM, I believe, is one of the more balanced matchups. Both of these have somewhat of high cooldown skills that really determine the outcome of the match. And Gunslinger, as good as it is, I think it has a lot of more struggle versus KFM here, as Hawkid is just spamming the block. Garden Fist coming in from the side of Giro, blocking that Dragon kick here, and does manage to find a Flurry. A lot of damage coming in to Hawkid, still holding out to that second win. Very dangerous Tremor coming forward, opening some distance. There is a Sorin Palm here. Actually running Gelfi still, interesting choice by Giro here. That is the Sorin Falcon not doing anything in the favor of Hawkid, coming completely empty-handed here, as their combo is good. There is a Flock of Blades with the Searing Slash, do a lot of damage. Giro forced to use his second win, and Hawkid actually 10% HP, still has his escape available, finally being used, but not much to do here. There's a triple kick, and there it is, Giro securing himself with the first point here. He's on point this evening, I can tell you that.
And that's the big problem we've seen in the past when these matchups were more common in previous runs. It's really tough sometimes for the Blade Master because he needs to wait on his tab escape. He needs to basically use his health as a resource to make sure he capitalizes as much as possible off of it. But so far, now he's going to look to dish out quite a bit of damage onto Giro, but playing it safe for now. We'll go back in with a 5-point strike, launches up into the air. Very nicely done by Hawk, and now potentially in a good position to get that 1-to-1 equalizer. He gets the relaunch, but I don't think he can pull this one out at the very least just yet, as Jiro himself still waiting out patiently. Ooh, survives with a sliver of health. Now with 3%, I believe. Hawkid in definitely good spot. Will get stunned up. So Jiro plays still looking to get something done.
Even if he turns around, still in palm, it's going to be a bit of a problem here. It does manage to find the Rising Tiger, and with the Ice Guard, of course, being a very bad time for Hawkid to actually use his escape. The timing, Jiro just doesn't miss any tech chase. It's amazing. Finally, actually hits into the ground counter, but the flurry coming in straightforward just afterward. Hawkid still holding on to the second win, but dropped into 10% HP. Finally forced to use that. There is a win from his side. Just a lot of blades being used to find a 5-point side.
Tab is saved.
Yeah, there it is.
Triple kick
does connect, and there it is. I believe Jiro can.
Oh. It looked like Jiro was somewhat surprised he actually connected the triple kick.
Yeah, it was
like oh yeah, stunned. Yes.
Oh, okay. This when you're so good as Jiro, you're sometimes surprising yourself, and that was a perfect example for that. Just triple kick out of nowhere, and he was just shocked for a second, like.
Oh, I'm actually amazing.
Yeah, so here we're gonna probably still see who's gonna be facing off against Luki. I'm gonna hint out to the broadcaster here. You should probably refresh your page. I'm not sure if these are the updated brackets. Not exactly hinting, but yeah. In terms of some of these players coming in, I would really like to see Luki actually facing off against Jiro once again. That would probably be very nice to see, you know, having kind of the same matchup, but not really the same as what we saw right now. As I said, these BM versus KFM is somewhat of a balanced matchup in a way. So,
for sure. One of the more balanced, if you will, in most people's eyes. But coming up next, it will be a loser's bracket matchup between Cymex, who managed to claw his way through a multitude of matches after losing in the second round. Now will be facing off against his opponent in Ace 5. So it's going to be Summoner versus Gunslinger. And Cymex, while he has played quite a lot of Gunslinger himself, it is going to be once again on his Summoner, playing it safe, making sure he has potentially as I have a chance of victory, of course, coming up here as they will be loading into the arena, starting off already. Cymex looking out to potentially send out his familiar Tombstone. They're already being procced here by Ace. Will be using that Skystone as well, but unable to do too much in terms of damage so far. He's going to be forced to use that Tab Escape. Alpha Call as a result, but ooh, as I say, no damage. There it is. Ace now looking to do more, but Dandy gets procced.
Yeah, and Enhanced Stitch right now is the updated name, but actually finds a route. I don't think Ace can actually open the distance now. He's a little bit in trouble as he takes a chunk in the cat down very badly. A Summoner without the cat could be in a super bad position. There is a deadlock coming in from Ace here as the cat pin finally connecting and being extended here on the side of Cymex, almost finishing him off, 10% HP. The Pounds finally connecting, another second win coming in from the side of Ace here as he opens the distance into his Skystone, dropping into 3% HP.
Close.
Another Vigilance. Well, okay, that is a Wicked Poison actually, guys. Wicked Poison is the dot left behind by the Summoner.
Oh, yeah.
And, that was actually pretty cool, you know. Cymex could basically turn around and just not look at an explosion happening behind
Exactly.
him.
Cool guys don't look at explosions. That is indeed what Cymex was going for here, as he will look to secure another potential victory here, opening up pretty aggressively. He's so far unable to really get that win on the board. He needs to make things happen, as it is the loser's bracket. If he loses this round, he will be out of the tournament. So right now we'll go for the Tombstone. We'll try to get that card break too, I believe, there. But now Alpha Call will be popped, still looking for more damage, as Cymex still able to stay safe. And as a result, we'll be running. He's really just unable to do too much right now.
He actually does manage to put a Petal Stone. Ace did manage to find an air combo, but didn't hit due to the Petal Stone, and I think that is it. Cymex with the damage. Whew. Whew. You know, sometimes I feel like professional players, such as Cymex, get a little bit more crit lucky than other players. in that situation, those flowers, of course. Sunflowers, the PvP pick for it. Yeah, it's a little bit. It's spec'd a little bit more conveniently for PvP in terms of focus and DPS as well. So that's gonna be Simon executing himself. Spot versus Jung Ha-Jung, the assassin, I believe, correct? And we will be having a BR versus BD, I think. Luki versus Ryuku here. We'll see about that. But usually, what do you think about this sort of matchup, BR versus BD?
It's gonna be an interesting one, just because we know what Luki's capable of, and we've seen how deadly, of course, BD Ryuku or Volkat can really be himself. And as a result, I'm not quite sure what to expect. Overall, I think it's going to be explosive either way and close. I hope it goes the distance, where we will have 3 matches. But in terms of the matchup itself, Hangetsu, who would give the advantage to?
Well,
who do you think actually Luke is going to go out with?
Let's first of all look at this in terms of the classes. BD usually have an advantage when it comes to the low elo. It evens out a little bit when it comes to the higher elo, because both of these classes at that point are experienced enough to know what the other class has to offer, and the matches look completely different. Usually it's a one-sided BD stomp upon players that are more new to the arena, but in this situation, on the other hand, I do believe we'll see actually Luki having quite a nifty, overall performance versus Volkat here. But of course, Volkat being strong, obviously, going to North America and having a lot of experience on Blade Dancer, and being incredibly talented as well. It's not going to be an easy match for Luki, I believe.
Well, they are starting the matchup, and it seems like Luki's actually going to be opting in to play his Destroyers. So it's going to be spin to win, name of the game here, see who can come out on top, who has the stronger Beyblade on the block, as the round will start soon enough, as it will get into the arena. And I'm curious to see if it's going to be some extra mind games, as so far Phantom Grip is actually going to be dodged already by Luke.
Very bad. It's, that Luki has his Emberstone now, and you have no... you have nothing to do against Emberstone if Phantom Grab is down. There is the Guardian Tempest coming in from his side, the Typhoon. Keeping keeping Luki out of harm's way as well. No CC will be landing here. Does manage to find that strafe raid. That was actually pretty cool. Finally finds the Phantom Grab. Resistance is available for Luki still, I believe. But it's not possible from
He runs for Fury. You never know. It's not the smart choice for sure, as you said. But he gets the lightning draw. And as a result, Luki now going to be at 47%. Ryoku here for Volkat is going to opt in for the Guardian Tempest. Misses the Phantom Grip. Was dodged once again by Luki with that iframe. His will have the Everstop down on the ground again, just right now looking for an opening, as both of them I think were out of focus for a sec there. But now we'll see BD Ryoku pop his tab escape.
If he still has his gas available, maybe can somewhat turn this around. There it is. The gas will be used, but still can't use gap process due to the ankle bite, and there's a Phantom Grab. I believe that is gonna be it for Luki. Actually get thrown into the wall with that 5-point side. Right, no coming forward, and it's hard for me to see how Luki can top this off. He might be a pretty good destroyer, but he's much better than BM. I think it was somewhat a mistake to actually turn to this. Whoa! 5 points like air combo. I believe Volkat was pretty surprised that he actually landed that. Did you see the reaction?
Well, BD Ryoku here, the legend, already looking to close this one out as he gets a draw, actually with the right click too. But the persistence will be powered by Luke, and as a result, will look to turn things around, so he's not down and out just yet. Ember Stomp going to keep him safe for an extra while, just left clicking away, but the stun off of the raid is going to connect, and as a result, we'll see whether or not he can indeed close this one out. Blade Dancer here will miss his Phantom Grip, unfortunately, and with that, we'll be out of options for now. So we'll see Luki try to do something in return. Now gets the stun off of the Reflex Soul. Beautiful execution, but not too much in terms of damage that he can do. Will go for the grip, but unfortunate. Will be launched away now, forced to use his Tab Escape. He does not have the persistence still available, I believe, and as a result, if BD Ryoku gets another CC off, that could be very disastrous here for Luki.
Yeah, and running that build with the dual strike iPhone is incredibly hard to deal with.
Oh,
Like
no.
coming forward, and I think he's gonna go down to 8% HP, 5% is 0, and there it is, Ryuko. Oh, BD Ryuko ball cut, aka securing himself place in the losers brackets, I believe. No, wait. It's semifinals on the losers bracket versus
Top four.
to be decided. Yeah, Samex. Oh, Hayun.
But it seems like next up, we will be going shortly into a break. Of course, once again, my name is Brunj, joined by the one and only Hangetsu. We will be returning shortly. In the meantime, make sure to stay tuned as we will have costume giveaways throughout the whole tournament. Of course, also follow Blade and Soul on all the social platforms to keep up to date with any future news and content. So stay tuned. We'll be right back. And welcome back once again to the Rumble in the Realm European side of things. My name is Brunch, joined by Hangetsu, and we will be moving on to our top 4 finalists. Of course, there's a lot on the line for all these players here. Hangetsu, not only cash prizes, some also extra cool swag coming out of Corsair, and a bunch of other goodies, right?
Well, indeed. Okay, here we go. Another link to the outfits, guys. If you want the Scarlet Bird, you just go hit that link and you might have a chance. Yeah, for me, I feel like it's on the other side, so I need to point right to go to the left. Yeah.
Pretty much, yes, exactly.
Yeah. So already, by the way, these top 4 players are actually securing themselves these, winning prizes. But we still don't know exactly which one is gonna take the big prize, the Corsair mouse, mechanical keyboard, and of course the 400 USD prize money. And I believe there's a lot on the line now for those.
Oh yeah,
it's
most definitely
devastating to know you lost.
And coming up,
for example, just
just like that. Just for a number, but it is going to be BD Ryoki versus Yun Hyung up next, and that is once again Blade Dancers versus Sin. And we've seen in the past how favored it can really be for Blade Dancers, especially if they get the assassin out of stealth with the help of the dual strike with the pull and such. So in terms of this particular matchup, what do you expect, Hangetsu?
Seeing how it's Bolka. Even if Hyung is a very good assassin, it's hard for me to believe that he's gonna win versus Bolkat. Bolkat is playing very well this evening, but versus assassin, it's you could say somewhat of his specialty when it comes to these matches. I believe I was spectating some matches between when Bolkat was just climbing a little bit. And I can tell you that Assassins just basically got destroyed, planning everything perfectly, including... there it is. I guess we'll wait for that just a little bit longer, as we do have the spectating system right now. That's obviously going to be a lot better. Here the Soul Falcon does connect already. Hyung with the insta-tab, basically, flower of escape will be put down here. Trying to find that Fury kick, but not quite landing. Not this kick here. He's actually running shadow, considering the size of that land.
Ooh, instantly goes for the flower, get out of the grapple. So very nicely done on that part. Ryuk, of course, expending his tab escape himself. So now if he gets caught, he could be in big trouble. The mine, he's a little too early there for Hyun as he gets stunned up. Lightning Jaw connects, launches him up into the air. So quite a lot of damage should be coming out from the Blade Dancer for now. But the tab escape is back up and instantly used once again by the assassin.
He has his stealth down all the time now. It's amazing how much control Bolkat has in this match. He never has his escapes out, and actually hits into it enhanced decoy here, and that could be very bad for him. But Jung has his follow up in just one more second here, and probably trying to place it down before going aggressive again. Guardian Tempest will be using the Soul Falcon, does connect the raid, finally targeting him, and it's gonna be a stealth coming in for Jung
no!
Will he be able to just in time, the stealth coming out of cooldown, and no second win available for BD Ryuko here. Finally find the bomb with the Shadow Slash and the sneak attack, and a lot of damage coming forth. Finally their combo Webby is available, does manages to find that with sweet Bolt Strike here with the Bombard F's here. Actually drops the combo slightly, probably out of CC here, and mine will be used.
Great stun into the take fly. Now can he finish the job? Yes is the answer. BD Ryoko or Bolkat securing the first win here, and a very important one at that. But Yun Hyung seemingly under a lot of pressure, crumbling because he used that tab escape so early into the fight and just overall unable to keep up the pressure himself once he had the advantage.
You see, I think, the best aspect, one of the perks of Bolkat is that he knows how to keep the pressure going. He's relentless. Yeah, I think that is the word I'm looking for. He basically doesn't give any room for breath for his opponent, and to basically falling under so much pressure when you have not your stealth, not your flower of escape. You have nothing left basically, and you're just basically ending up, getting killed very easily, or at least getting chunked enough that an air combo is enough to kill you.
But still, he's not out of it just yet, and it's already impressive enough that he made it this far. A new face in the tournament scene is always a welcome addition. It's lovely to see these players rise up to the occasion and really just perform versus the likes of Ryoku, or apologies, Bolcut. I know he's bamboozling us time and time again, making it difficult for us casters, but so far, it's still going to be tough to equalize things, because even if he wins the next round, he needs to keep that up. He needs to win 2 in a row if he is to advance for a shot at third place or higher, or at the very least secure himself the third place, but have a shot at an even higher standing in the end.
Well, yeah, I mean, this isn't the first name, by the way. This is bamboozling here. There was something spooky as well. At least Giro is Giro. I'm happy that Giro isn't trying to bamboozle us. I wouldn't be surprised if he called himself something like Zapish at some point. We'll think, oh no, this is Giro on an account in Legion Esports site, the tournament that is called, just trying to confuse us. I'll tell you something else. If there is something I really want to see somehow, and it's gonna be pretty hard, pretty low chance for something like this to happen, is that in the last matches, okay, starting off here, they might be extended enough to actually see some ultimates coming down, and that is something I believe that if I were to have somewhat of control over it, I would probably make the 1v1 ultimates, Hong Moon focus charge a little bit faster, since it's just something that makes the game that more entertaining, and it is already. But those ultimates could be, a game changer sometimes. Maybe give a little bit more of a shot for players that are, worked hard and making these ultimates more efficient, utilizing them to their maximum,
Potential, really.
Yeah, maximum potential, exactly.
And again, it's so important here for him to make it back into the game, keep his calm, keep his composure, and somehow get a win over the Blade Dancer, because, as said, there's a lot on the line. Not only cash prizes, also peripherals from Corsair, which you definitely don't want to miss out on, and everything else in between. A lot, as said, being on the line makes it extra pressure on these players, especially if you're somebody that is less experienced with the tournament scene and setting. So it's still congratulations on all the different players that made it so far in this top 4 seeding, and it seems like they are finally ready to go once again. What could be the final round between these two, as BD Ryoku is up 1-0 in this match.
She doesn't land the fumble. They're trying to find that really sneak. Wow, Raid followed up onto stealth. That is something I didn't see for a while. I mean, he could have maybe timed 5-point Cypher actually followed up his tech chase to that stealth. Fall of Escape is up for Jung Ha-Jung here just for a little bit longer, but can't really find an answer. And as I said, Ryuko is relentless, and finally Fall of Escape is down. He manages to find the line goal. Doesn't quite finish him off, as he will be forced to use that Fall of Escape. Finally, the Terminal Leaf does connect, and there is a second win coming.
Oh, that is unfortunate here for Hyun, but Maelstrom was popped. We'll see the Blade Dancer play very safe here, but no defensive options available for the Sin means that he's in a lot of trouble. He needs to make something work here. Gets the stun.
Finally, Lotus Kick connects his web, and it will be used, and probably gonna be followed up by Spinal Tap. There is overlapping CC with a Cycle Strike here. Does manages to find that the close shave. It's just highlight inside to finish him off, and Yang Ha-Jung equalizing the series here 1-1.
Very nicely done. It was pretty damn close. The tab escape soon enough would be back up by the Blade Dancer, but as a result, is going to be a 1-for-1. It's not over just yet, and this is what I want to see in these top 4 matches. I want to see them go the distance. I want to see a lot of more exciting action, and so far, that's most definitely what we've had, Hangetsu.
Well, you see, the thing is, that Lotus Kick could have obviously backfired.
Oh yeah.
The fast animation, and if Bolcat was just spinning, it would have gotten deflected and
would have been winning.
It's that was very well timed. It's really hard to do, by the way. As a blade dancer, you do want to somewhat conserve your focus, okay? But your spin is it's your defensive skill. It's basically how you're supposed to be. Your natural game is goes without saying that you just keep spinning almost all the time because that's how you stay safe. And for blade dancer to want to be conserving his focus on the other hand and also being able to stay safe, it's somewhat of a dilemma. And Bolkat actually chose wrong right now to actually try to conserve his focus, and it costs him that match, I believe.
Okay, it seems like they should be ready to go. Once again, the final round between these two soon enough is going to be ready in about 20 seconds. But once more, this is a top 4. The loser here is going to go out, but not empty-handed, of course, with a 4th place finish. So we're going to be really excited to see who will make it through. Of course, coming up next, the winner between these two is going to be facing off versus either Blade Master or Gunslinger coming out of Hafk, and that's going to be also interesting to note what he's going to be playing based off of what he's going to be up against. But it is going to be the final round between BD Ryoku or Bolkat versus Yun Hyung on the Assassin.
Fine, Leaf. Wow, that was actually a really good opener coming from Young Hyun, and there is a second win coming from BD Ryoku here. Does manage to find a 5-point slide of Nelson, keeping him safe. However, there's a Lightning with the Guardian Tempest. This is actually a combo that BDs like a lot. Okay, it's comboing Guardian Tempest with Lightning Bolt, and Smoke Screen is being used as dual strike. Will allow Ryoku to stay safe. That is it. No more focus available for him. Finally finds that overlap in CCs. But no, not dropping the combo. The Lotus Kick does connect, and I think Women is available. Yeah, there it is.
Tab Escape. But Tab Escape is back up, but will he use it in time as he is? No! Not the case. Yun Hyung with the plays there at the end. I was really concerned for a second there that he was going to have that Tab Escape available and get out of it there in the end. But no, some crits, some hits, and of course, not dropping the combo means that we will actually see Yun go forth and claim at the very least a 3rd place finish.
Yeah, but
very nicely done.
Yeah, don't forget though, BD Ryoku or Bolkat is not going home empty-handed. He will be taking a station price of 100 USD and of course an outfit of choice from the 3 outfits we have written on the side. So at least you get that. I think it's well deserved, and I'm actually happy to see, as you said, rookie or someone that is somewhat less known in this tournament securing himself at least 3rd place with potential to actually keep climbing. So Jung Hyun versus Hafk, that's an assassin versus Gunslinger. I think we did not have a match of this sort yet.
Well, you do have to keep in mind the fact that Hafk can also, of course, bring out his Blade Master. He's played both of them to a very high degree. But as you said, considering this matchup, considering we haven't seen Gunslinger versus Sin, what is your take on this? Do you expect to see the Gunslinger and for Hafk to go for it? Or what are your expectations, I guess?
Well, now you need to. Now that you mention it, it makes me think whether Hafk will choose to go on BN or with Gunslinger. And to be honest, seeing as how his performance on Gunslinger is so well this tournament, I would honestly suggest for him to stay with that particular class. But well, I'm thinking, BM would obviously not be as useful versus an assassin, and Young Hyun proved that he could win versus Bolkat. Then that means he is on point when it comes to these, Blade Master, Blade Dancers kind of class-oriented class. I mean, so I think if he went with a BM, that would be somewhat of a mistake. I would suggest for him to go for the Gunslinger. Gunslinger has an F actually called Cannonade that is basically a guard break. That is also, by the way, available on ground counter. That is absolutely not my opinion. That means he's trying to use unload, and he actually presses F and just guard breaks.
Like, that's handy. I did that. Okay, time to spam some more damage then.
Yeah, and I think Gunslinger would be obviously the better choice in my opinion.
And of course, as said, this is going to be a very important match because the winner will at the very least secure himself a second place finish. Of course, even if you finish third, a lot is going to be still obtained through the prize pool, and it's definitely an impressive feat. So it seems like they are actually good to go and readied up soon enough. Once more, this is our potential third, or rather, once again, the potential third place finish for one of these two players, Yun Hyung on the Sin versus Half, this time once again on the Gunslinger. Good to go soon enough.
Yeah, well, I will take the Gunslinger. Thanks for taking my advice this time. I mean, well, I've been wrong predicting this tournament. As I said, it is gonna be a bumpy ride with a lot of things that you can't expect, obviously. But in this situation, I think that is one of the more wiser choice, I believe, here to actually go for the Gunslinger. And I hope. I think I saw Hafk a little bit more in the arena lobby than Young Hyun. I saw both of them, but well, I wanna see an assassin that we don't know of actually secure himself a place here. And there's gonna be the Sky Storm coming in from the side of Hafk here. Trying to find a proper CC. There's a Twin Bells with the orange dropping pretty low. Stealth will be used and Deadlock. Young Hyun with the restore coming from the smoke screen. Standoff will be the item of choice. Tombstone being popped, but finally does manage to find a CC as the Flower of Escape will be used as both of these players are opening a distance. Escape is still available. It's into the standoff, and I think Young
no!
Down here, there's a cannonade. Actually, iPhone's just in time. Second win still available on the side of Half Kill. Needs to time it correctly though, and that is also pretty tricky here. Does manages to find the webbing with the lightning roll finally. Second win coming in from the side of Half Kill. Has a few hooks available for him. Does manages to find Skystorm.
The big problem for him is the fact that in the meantime, Yun Hyung did manage to get his tap escape back up, and now potentially forced using, not just yet. He's dropping really low though, but gets the stun, and the tap escape in return off of the alpha call, but the position swap will be good. But the hooks are there, the damage is there, and Half still secures it, but could have been dangerous for him there for a sec.
This is what you think. In PvP and almost any game, you would think to kill your opponent, you're gonna have to CC him, but well, not Gunslinger, no. Gunslinger.
Just gotta drop that HP to 0, man.
It didn't matter, Branch. When you have both of your escapes up, but you have 5% HP, what are you gonna do? Even you know what? Not 5%, even 50% HP, because one unload could be a devastating 6k damage on top of that. So yeah, that is obviously gonna be painful as hell.
And now we will see, of course, Half could get one step closer to getting his rematch versus Jiro to make sure he secures himself in a position in the grand finals, now being up 1-0 in this particular series. And now we will have to see the assassin use something else to really make sure he gets the reverse, or rather the turnaround in this matchup. He did it before, but can he do it again, Hangetsu?
Well, I don't think that was a lucky strike here. There, I think Hafk is just playing somewhat of a strong class versus assassin, and he's playing very, very well this tournament under Gunslinger at least. I don't know how much. Well, with this CSBM, I feel like his Gunslinger is superior in compared to his Blade Master.
And in terms of the matchup.
Yeah, well, I think it would be nice to see. I do want. I'm kind of in favor of the underdog, to be honest. I want to see Young Hyun actually get all the way to face enough Jiro, and then learning the true how I call it, the true strength of a professional player hitting down on you like Jiro. So I want to see that a little bit more. I think we did see one of the matches in the winners bracket where it was Jiro versus Young Hyun, I believe, and
yes.
Yeah, Young Hyun was defeated in that particular matchup. Jiro playing fantastic this way, impeccable plays by him.
Most definitely, and now it seems like we are indeed ready to go. with what could be the final round between these two, but Hyung did it before. The question is, can he do it again? Can he turn things around, secure the equalizer here with a 1-1 potentially? As so far, the Tapscape was used by the Gunslinger in an advantage here, potentially, for the Assassin. Of course, he will have the Alpha Cop potentially here too. Tombstone available as well, but instantly disengages. Hyung playing patiently now, manages to dodge around still, and could potentially get the opening he wanted. But Alpha Call is going to give a small window opportunity here for the Gunslinger, but Tapscape was used as well for Hyung.
Yeah, often hits into the standoff. This is very dangerous for Young Hyun. He needs to...
And seems like we'll try to keep up the pressure. So far, Tab Escape was used by the Gunslinger. The return fire is going to get the aerial launch up into the air. Yeonhyung, where's your HP? You're down to 12%. Make that 0.5. Secures the finisher. And I do believe Hangetsu was so stunned, he actually froze in time and space. He will be, hopefully, shortly back up with us. But that is indeed going to secure Hafk the rematch rather up against Jiro in the grand finals. Still really well played by the Assassin, making sure he gets all the way for that third place finish, which is definitely not something of a small feat at all. Getting $200 as well as the Corsair Void Pro headset. So well done, congratulations to him, and of course also bigger thumbs up for Pocket or Hofk to see him in the rematch versus Jiro. And this time around for the grand finals, it is going to be different. We will have a best of 5 instead of the best of 3 format. We will be moving on to best of 5. So this could be the advantage Hafk was looking for. Of course, the problem for him is the fact that Jiro not losing a single set or match so far, or series even, if you will, has the winner's side advantage, and even if he loses one best of 5, he will have another shot at victory. And I do believe Hangetsu, you are back finally with us.
I wonder what I missed. Did I miss anything important, Brench? Because it was on the hype train right there. Who won?
I mean, even if you blinked, you would have missed it. And Hafk, of course, as said, secured himself the rematch, and still Hyung played really well overall. Very nice to see another Sin pop up in the EU scene, and I'm excited to see what else he can bring in the future.
Well, he is taking home the fourth place prize, and well deserved for Young Hyun, for someone who is still considered somewhat of a rookie and not so well known around the European PvP scene. So that's $200, including the Void Pro RGB USB from, of course, Corsair, supporting us very well. So shouts out to Corsair on that as well. So it's gonna be as our final. It's gonna be a Gunslinger versus a KFM. That is not something I would predict, honestly.
You thought he was gonna go for the Blade Master instead? Or just in general, you mean the matchup itself?
I'm saying that, okay, Jiro obviously is not gonna be changing to any other class. His KFM is obviously gonna be better than anything else he plays, even though I saw this was very good as well. And Hafk, on the other hand, could be more versatile. And I think, as we saw before, Hafk did choose to go with the BM instead of the Gunslinger before in a match that was prior to this one, like a lot before. I think in the semifinals, I'm not sure if this is what I'm seeing is relevant here, but I believe he should stay on the Gunslinger, regardless of it seemingly being seen as somewhat of a counter. I mean, being countered by the KFM. I think the Gunslinger would be a lot better, seeing as how Hafk is utilizing it so well.
Well, the scary thing is, no matter what the class you're going to play Hangetsu, if you're up against Jiro, he played so well tonight, as you said, impeccable, if you will, to quote an excellent caster. We have, of course, a very likely chance that he can secure himself once again another victory, but this will be Hafk's time to shine and get his revenge in this particular matchup, as this time around on the Gunslinger, he's starting off once more. The Skystone is out to play, And none of these two want to engage just yet, playing it safely.
Yeah, as the Korean casters like to call it, looking for redemption on Huff's behalf here. Does manages to find that Haze bomb, and there is the Ice Guard gonna be coming in from the side of Geo here, and Deadlock with the Vigilance, actually second win being used here, and he has another second win available for him in his disposal, but gets hit by the Comet Strike, and I think this could already be very bad for him. Another second win coming forward. There is the air combo with a lot of damage dropping. Giro to 66% here, but the 7-pound kind of knocking down Huff. A very uncomfortable situation to be in. Does manages to find some iframe time with, of course, the Skystone. And opening the distance, it seems like Giro just, I don't know if he wants to chase that so much. The Flying 7 does not connect, as the Deadlock being the iframe timed perfectly here.
Oh, the tech chase. The stuns, the daze, can he do it once again? The execution is there, but the tap escape comes out in the nick of time, and as a result, Giro now is going to be dropping really low in return. The pain coming out of the Gunslinger once more, but who's going to close this one out? Tap escape is out of the question here, as he did use the Alpha Call. Now, once again, up in the air, Ice Guard is going to keep Giro safe, still having his tap escape, but wouldn't matter. He gets him on the ground, 5%. He gets out again with that Sky Stone. And with the iframe, it's gonna be seeing Giro just dart around, gets the stun, and this should be it. Giro secures the first win of the grand finals. First round, that is.
First round, yeah, indeed. He is. You see, the thing is, he's so creative when it comes to the KFM. You don't know what's gonna happen next. And as Huff was running away, he just couldn't realize how Giro is keeping up with all these dashes, and you're like, oh, there's still a KFM here behind me, and I'm like, wait, I'm a gunslinger. How is it that I'm not moving to avoid the KFM? It's amazing. So Giro really keeping up with all these kites. Not a problem for him at all. And, you know, something else I noticed, second win was not used too often by Giro, if any, I believe, in that match.
If he used it once, that's it. I'm not even sure if he did, to be honest.
Yeah, I feel like Huff isn't creating enough pressure on top of Giro to actually force his second win often, and that plays a very, very important role for him. If he wants to win, he'll have to kind of step up his CC game a little bit. His tech chase did fail a few times and actually hit the ball rush into the ground counter, which obviously broke.
Not something you want.
Nothing.
To say the least. And again, once more, this is a double elimination format, and considering the fact that Giro is coming in from the winner's side of things, and it being a best of 5 for the grand finals, if he wins this series, he is the winner. He will take home that first prize finish, whereas we have to see Huff step it up. He needs to take the win here, not only this series, but the next one afterwards, if he is successful with this one. So still a tough task, a daunting one at that for him. But soon enough, we will be going into that second round, Giro versus Huff.
Indeed, as the Skystone is already being put down, trying to find that standoff CC, but not quite hitting into that. Giro playing it very smart and patiently. The Ice Guard will be popped, and Huff just kind of, you know, hovering around. Both of these players are seizing up each other, but not really engaging, as you notice. They think the same way. They want to be very careful, as Haze Bomb does connect, and final Twin Bells L combo with a lot of damage coming in top of Giro, dropping him. There is the cannonade. There's a no counter available for Giro here. Forced to use that Ice Guard. Finally, his defenses are gonna be up again. He will be able to use his counter. Vigilance was popped, and he can top anytime he wants. A little bit of a distance, Giro from the second win of the Gunner here. Both of these players from a distance from each other. Huff actually looking very healthy here. Does manage to find bull rush air combo and finishing him off. Huff actually 100% in the end of the match. A little bit of heals. It's not a flawless victory, but wow. If he keeps this up, I don't think Giro could win this.
It's still gotta be tough either way, because we've seen how Giro could very well do it. And that's the thing. We talked about how he didn't get forced to use this tap escape. Well, with the recent changes, really good gunslingers will have that instant reaction time, that instant air launch, really, generally speaking. And as we've seen, most of the damage was done during the aerial, and Jiro, unable to really answer in any way, shape, or form, made it so that we will see a 1-to-1 equalizer for now. But once again, it is a best of 5. So the next winner here will have an advantage, but it's not going to be over yet with this particular series.
Well, I think what Hafk did here, unlike what he did before, he timed everything very, very well. And you see, the problem with playing versus an experienced player like Jiro, as I said before, is that you can never know what to expect. That means that usually a player that is not that experienced and not that professional would obviously fall to the gun and use gun counter straight away. Jiro, on the other hand, tends to hold it a little bit more patiently and conserve it until the very important point where he needs to pop it. And actually, that's, I think, what was a problem for him there. He took a lot of damage. Jiro took a lot of damage when he got dropped to the ground and he used that ground counter. The cannonade instantly shot him after he dropped down from the L combo and just eventually losing all your HP from those unloads. Here we go.
We'll see whether or not he can keep up the pressure here, as already going in aggressively. We'll see Half now use that Skystone to his advantage. Going in for the daze, instantly launches his opponent up into the air. Once again, Deja Vu coming out of it, but this time, second one was used by Jiro, looking to get aggressive off of it. Very well, very good adaptation rather, even launching his opponent up into the air, now looking to apply the steering palm stacks. Tab escape, of course, available here for the Gunslinger.
He needs to play very careful around the second win from the Gunslingers. One CC might be enough. The Tombstone is popped, and actually there is down low with the Twin Bells. The Bull Rush does connect. One air combo could be enough to finish him off. 50% HP dropping very low here as the Hazeman does connect. Don't count counter. Oh, there it is. Wow. Just the damage is... It's hard to cast something like this. You need to keep up with that.
Disgusting. I mean... Yeah, it's insane how much damage the Gunslinger can really put out, and the problem is, okay, he used the second one, he tried to get aggressive off of it and get an advantage this time, but not having it available during that short window, really, where he just got blown to bits, around 60% HP, I think he lost, if not more, in that little time frame. So Jiro now down 2-1. Of course, even if he loses this series, he's not going to be out, having the winner's bracket advantage. He will have another shot and making that first place finish. But now Hafk, as you said, making a really big statement here to potentially be our Rumble in the Realm victor.
Well, there is one problem. I don't think there's going to be another match for him, even if he loses right now, because then he secures himself the second place. Bench, if Jiro loses this match, he is not actually getting another shot, I believe, since he's going to be secure in the second place. I'm not saying that you're wrong, but it is kind of... I believe if I was the one organizing this tournament, Jiro was so good.
It just for quickly mentioning it, I did have confirmation that no, there is a reset Hangetsu. So bamboozling everyone here, sabotaging. No, I'm joking. But the players should be ready to go soon enough as well, around 15 seconds until they are into the arena, give or take. And once again, Jiro needs to also step it up. He wants to get that first place finish, as you said. He wants to make sure he makes it happen with this series potentially here, as the round will start. Jiro versus Hafk. Once again, Hafk, will he go for the Skystone once more, as he usually does in these openers? See so far just gliding around, waiting it out. Goes for the SS into the Skystone already, looking to stay safe for now. Jiro having that ice card as well, will keeping safe for an extra while, even opting in to proc it early. So very nicely countered to find an opening onto Hafk. Now punishing the Reflex Soul. It's going to potentially force out an early tab escape, but launching him up into the air. It's going to drop it to 50%. Half already in big trouble. And we'll see whether or not Jiro can still secure a win here, as Tombstone was used. Jiro needs to stay safe somehow. Procs that second win himself. Will have the Ice Guard available, with timing out means that he's still going to look for something here, and goes and gets a Rising Dragon, but the tab escape off of the Alpha Call was available for Hafk, and as a result, it's still not over just yet.
Well, there is a haze bomb actually connecting here, trying to find a quick gap closer here. Giro needs to actually find an opening, which is super hard against a gunner with so many hooks available for him. The Flurry is fine, connecting with the Iron Shoulder. The follow-up and 2 RFs are good, but however, there is another deadlock coming in from the side of Hafkir. Expires pretty fast. It only protects...
Oh, there it is! He does it!
Secure another win versus Huff. This is gonna be a lot of back and forth. I believe both of these players are good enough to adapt while playing. It's amazing, you know. I love seeing when you're basically
explosive.
They get so creative. I feel like true creativity of PvP actually, you know, is brought forward when you're playing against the same player for so many matches in such a high level. It's obviously very entertaining to see, I believe.
And this will bring the score up to 2-2, so it's equalized in this best of 5. Remember, if Giro wins this next one, he is a Rumble in the Realm victor for the European side of things. Of course, Half not out of it just yet. He needs to keep his hopes alive with this next win, because coming out of the losers bracket, he needs to win not only the next round, but the upcoming series if he's successful with this round. So a tough ask of him, a tough thing to achieve when you're up against the likes of Giro, who's just been absolutely astonishing in terms of his performance so far.
I'll tell you something else, by the way. He did change to the Top Infinity Top 30 outfit. That outfit looks pretty scary. I mean, in terms of, you know, who you're facing off against. You're facing against someone who basically has a title called Conqueror of the Infinite something. So you're basically versus something very intimidating. And when he changed to that outfit, it feels like it just brought himself into a whole new other level as well. I don't know. You sometimes know that now you have one character that have all of the outfits for top 5 and top 30. And then you have someone that has only top 5. You know, you're playing versus someone that had done something that you haven't done in BMS.
Well, it's also the regional outfits, right, from last year's regionals that, of course, Giro was part of. And we'll see now who will come out on top of this one. Remember, this is the grand finals. If Giro wins this one, he will be a Rumble in the Realm winner. Of course, Half will be looking to reset the bracket with a victory here. As so far, it's going to be second win already popped by Giro, who's going to go in aggressively once again. Going in for the air combo, looking to drop Half relatively low, as he did use that tab escape so far. Tombstone popped as well. We'll see whether or not Giro can stay safe with those strafes for now, as Half did going for the Skystone. Gets the daze and the follow-up off of the Reflex Roll. This could be very bad for Giro.
Oh, the amount of damage coming in on top of Giro, and Haze Bomb still available for Hafkir. Finally finds the Rising Tiger. This could be it for him. If Giro manages to kill Half right now, he will be securing himself the title.
Yes, it is going to be the win. Doesn't drop the combo. Giro is just not one of those KFMs that does so. And as a result, he is your Rumble in the Realm victor for the European side of things. Rumble number 5. Very well played on both ends. Of course, Half definitely not going down without a fight, playing not only an exceptional gunslinger, take it as well as the Blade Master to a very high level. So really well done overall. Of course, huge shout outs to everyone that participated, as Giro will be going, of course, home with the first prize finish, $400, as well as some cosmetic choices for his character and the Corsair mechanical gaming keyboard.
And don't forget the title. You could say
oh yeah,
that, well, at the moment, Rumble in the Realm finalist, Rumble in the Realm champion of the realm, in a way, I guess you could say it. I mean, Giro played phenomenally this tournament, just excellent. If I were to cut some highlights, I would especially put one of the points where he chased, gunslinger that uses hooks to extend the distance, and he gets to keep up with all this, hooks around.
I mean, this man hasn't lost a single round up until the finals. This was the very first time he even lost any rounds. So it's just been absolutely insane in terms of his performance overall. And we've praised him plenty, of course, so far, and for a good reason. Definitely a lot of highlights coming out of this tournament. Exceptionally played, very well deserved and just amazing overall. Of course, this will bring our tournament to a close. There will also be the free versus free tournament happening next week. First off, the North American side of things for the Rumble in the Realm 3v3, followed up by the European side soon enough after. Once again, my name is Brunj, joined by Hagetsu. Thank you so much for watching, and thank you so much for the production crew, of course, and everyone else involved in terms of organizing the tournament, making sure the players are in check, because we had a few difficulties, and that's due to some of the players being somewhat slow in terms of response. So I'm calling them out, that's right, but hopefully not going to happen anymore in the future. Thank you once again, of course, especially for you, the viewers, for watching. We had a wonderful time. Make sure to follow Blade and Salt on all the social media. Stay up to date with any news, upcoming patches, content. And of course, if you missed out on any of the exciting action, you can watch it all over on YouTube/Blade and Salt. But once again, as said, my name is Brunj. Hagetsu, any closing thoughts?
Well, I just wanted to give some shouts out to Legion Esports helping us out in the background as well, and of course Corsair for all their support in terms of these wonderful merchandise and accessories, PC accessories.
And the codes. Make sure to get that outfit, the last one.
It's not a code in this situation.
Well,
yeah. And of course, all the players that gave us such a nice tournament. I have to give a special thanks to Hafken Giro. You guys were on fire this tournament, and I believe it's just step forward away from being a Korean level of KFM/Gunslinger. And yeah, that's it.
And once again, thank you for watching. Till next time, make sure to stay tuned for the free versus free NA Rumble in the Realm next weekend. But till then, bye-bye.